Twisted X is known for using eco-friendly methods to build a modern cowboy boot with the comfort of an athletic shoe. And they're bringing all of that together in this new Tech X boot. And I'm gonna be doing an extended test review of this boot today. Plus, if you're watching this within the first couple of weeks of it being posted, you have a chance to win a brand new pair yourself. Let's get into it.
I'm just here to connect ya, and then I'll be on my way.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel today for this Twisted X Tech X extended test. Oh man, I did a video about one of their Tech X boots a few months ago. This one is a little bit different. It's from their MXTR line. The other one was the MXW line, I believe. And we'll get into those differences in a minute, but first I also need to mention that this video is sponsored by Twisted X, but it is in my contract with them to come at this video in a truthful and honest manner. It's still something that you should know, and a huge shout out to Twisted X for supporting this channel and making this giveaway possible. Now let's dive into the details of this boot with the rundown. Yes, this is Twisted X Tech X model MXTR002, and it features Roughout on the vamp and the counter. That's what's comprising the foot, and it is full grain leather, just rough side out. It's not like the boot that I did a couple of months ago that featured Twisted X's leather Twix, and it is Roughout in the color chocolate. It also features a wide square toe with a double stitched welt. I don't believe it is a true Goodyear welt though. I think that this is primarily cement constructed. It's also coming in at 12 inches tall with a beautiful stormy blue color shaft. And for a heel, we have about a 1.5 inch rubber heel. And that rubber continues on to the outsole because it is all one piece. And this is their rubber outsole integrated with blended rice husks. That's a material that usually gets thrown away, and this helps reduce the total amount of rubber used. So you can see those little speckles here throughout the rubber outsole, and that's something else that Twisted X is doing so they can be a little bit more eco-friendly. For a lining, we have a mesh lined top and a cloth lined foot. You can also see that they have the seams covered up there if you were afraid that maybe the seams would rub against your ankles. For an insole, we have what they're calling their Blend 85, which uses recycled foam that would otherwise end up in landfills. And again, here you can see the different color speckles that makes it appear to obviously be recycled. Down underneath that insole for a footbed, you can kind of see their cell stretch system that they have inside the insole of this boot, which is a bunch of little blue bubbles that is supposed to react to your foot a little bit differently than some other materials. Another cool thing about this boot that's different from the other Tech X that I looked at is that this style, this line, does have some B-width sizes in it. Not this Roughout. You guys voted on my Facebook group that you wanted to see a Twisted X Roughout boot, and to be honest, so did I. They just don't have this boot in a B-width. They do have two models, I believe, that come in narrow B-width sizes for men, and you can also get this style of boot up to 15D. The Twisted X Tech X boots are made in China, and you can usually find them retailing for around $219.95 at most online stores and Western wear shops. Now it's time to try on this boot to see how it looks and feels. All right, I got the Twisted X Tech X boots on right now, and they feel very, very similar to the ones that I did a video on last month or the month before that. And I like that, you know, it feels very much like a sneaker, a basketball shoe, a tennis shoe. So if you are coming from sneaker worlds or regular shoes and you're like, man, I can't find cowboy boots that feel like that, this is what Twisted X is going for. It feels very, very similar to a sneaker. And those of you who have had experience with the Tech X line or other Twisted X's, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments, but that's just my sense of this brand, is that they're trying to reach folks who are more comfortable in like the New Balance, the Nikes, things like that, and they do it well. The color of the boot looks great. What do you guys think? I really like the Roughout leather. It's really supple, and I like Roughout leather too because it's tough and it just needs less attention than some of the smooth leathers. Like my godfather used to train horses, and he would always say that his favorite leather was the Roughout. He'd say all that you need to do is just brush them off and they're pretty much ready to go to church in. So he loved Roughouts. If he loved Roughouts, you know I'm gonna love Roughouts too. It's a great leather and it's looking good here. Here's the POV. You can get a good look at that wide square toe with the double stitched. Well, as you can see, you can also see the little bit of white piping poking out on the jeans there. I like that little touch. And I do like this outsole and how it looks more like a leather outsole. The other Tech X boot that we looked at had a midsole, you know, it kind of looked more like a sneaker sole or something. This is giving me much more of a cowboy boot feel with how it looks. But it's not just about the looks, we gotta put these to work. It's time for the extended test. If you wanna know how to enter the giveaway, you'll have to wait until later because right now, we gotta get to work.
For this extended test, I'm helping out friends and family with odd jobs. Starting out by lending a hand stacking more than a cord of wood with Tompkins County open mic legend, Wild Bill Yonder. So let's get at it. Piles like this seem daunting at first, but with patience and good conversation, it will be done in no time. One of the things that I like about Roughouts is that they don't get scuffed up nearly as easily as smooth leathers. I can drag this piece of wood across the leather and it looks exactly the same, when smooth leathers would show marks for sure. Every once in a while, I had to try to grab 3 pieces just to make stacking go faster. And soon enough, the stack was looking like we were actually making progress. It didn't take long until we were down to the last few pieces and had the job done. With all the wood stacked, it was time for Wild Bill and I to reward ourselves with a little jam sesh.
Come sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu. Just remember that Red River Valley and the cowboy that loved you so true.
Next up on the odd jobs list was some gutter cleaning at my brother Levi's house. I've never been a big fan of heights, but this job requires me to get up on the ladder. I'm not shaking, you're shaking, I swear. Once one section is clean, it's back down to move the ladder, and then back up we go. Getting all the goopy leaves out of the gutter so they're ready for winter. Every last little stick. The roof over the garage had much less of a pitch, so we were able to get up on the roof to clean out the rest of the gutters. I had no problem with traction thanks to the rubber sole on these boots. I was also wearing my Roughout belt too. Shout out to Nobleman's Apothecary, best belts in this solar system. When we completed the gutters, it was back down to ground level, thankfully, for the final odd job, trimming up the front hedges. Happy to be back on solid ground, it was time to make quick work of this shrubbery. I can't forget to clean up the trimmings. Jeremiah, that's not bad. The Knights Who Say Knee would be proud. Now, if only there were a little path. Anyways, with the work done, I think it's time for another short jam sesh with Levi.
All right, after a few odd jobs and a couple of jam sessions, it's time for my final thoughts of this Twisted X Tech X boot. This is from the line MXTR of Tech X boots, and it's very different from the MXW line that I tried a couple of months ago. So this one here feels much more like a sneaker, an athletic shoe, a tennis shoe than this one does. This one feels more like a boot. It's a little bit heavier and it takes a little bit more to break in. So there were times when I was like, man, I gotta take these boots off, been breaking them in, and it's just not enjoyable to wear anymore. Then I would start again the next day and it would be fine. And then about 3 to 4 days into wearing this boot on a regular basis, it felt fine. It felt like a athletic shoe or sneaker that you would expect from Twisted X. You may remember with the MXW line of Tech X boots, I had an issue with putting my foot in the boot and getting hung up on the heel counter on the inside. There was a little lip in that one. There is that same lip in this one here, but I didn't have any issue sliding my foot in this boot. I did have an issue with that side seam cover. The entire thing unraveled and you could pretty much just see that side seam on the inside. So it's not doing anything for the side seam anymore. It unraveled completely, and that would probably cause my legs to get a blister if I didn't wear tall socks. Doing the opposite of what it is meant to do. I think that these side seam covers are sort of overkill anyways, but because this is a mesh lining, I'm sure they are also trying to protect the edge of that mesh so it doesn't unravel and then the whole lining comes out. I would like to see this stitch be a little bit more durable than what it is, but for those of you out there looking for a boot that feels like an athletic shoe, but also like a boot, because this one definitely felt more like a tennis sneaker. This one feels more like a boot with elements of a athletic shoe with that cell stretch and the insole in this one. This one might be for you, but this is a modern made boot. So if you're not into modern made boots, this is not for you. It's got a lot of cushion in here and it still needs as much break-in, I feel like, as some of these more traditionally made cowboy boots. Overall, I feel like I had a better experience with this MXW boot than this one. That's my final thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Now let's get into the giveaway information. That's right, you have a chance to win a brand new pair of Twisted X Tech X boots in your size. Here's what you have to do to enter. Number 1, like this video right now, smash that little thumbs up button down there. Number 2, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And number 3, fill out the form at the link in the description with your email and a few other questions. That way I can contact you if you win. Then on Sunday, September 25th, I will be announcing the winner on a Boots and Ballads live stream where I'll be talking boots, playing music, and so much more. And I'll also have another pair of Twisted X Tech X women's boots to give away as well. Be sure to be there. It's gonna be a great time. Until then, thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you guys around. Peace.
Here for odd jobs and to jam out, maybe crack a beer when the work is done. Having fun in the summer sun. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching today. Why don't you check out this video up here about the women's Tech X boot, or check out my entire song with Wild Bill Yonder down here. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Yeah. Peace. Have a good one.